So, currently in Star Wars Battlefront 2, we are in, I guess you could call the sequel trilogy season. I know DICE kind of cut off the whole seasons thing, but I think it's a good way to talk about where we're at currently in the state of things. But after an entire year of Clone Wars content, the devs have decided to change things up a bit, and we are going to be getting a lot of content for the final movie of the Skywalker saga, and as we all know, that is coming next week, which is absolutely crazy about. It seems like it's so far away, but it is just next week. I'm personally seeing it Thursday, but it officially releases on Friday. However, there are still a lot of people, including myself, that are wondering, will the Clone Wars ever return in this game? And I think it's pretty safe to say that the Prequel Era was by far the most requested in terms of what content the game needed. It's got just so much to it that everyone seems to love, and it's just a great era overall. I still remember how disappointed I was when I finally downloaded Battlefront 2015, not knowing much about what the game was and had to offer. I did play the original Battlefront 2, so whenever I saw that this Battlefront 2015 was out, I got it immediately, and I still remember how disappointed I was to eventually find out that the Clone Wars was not in any way, shape, or form present in that game. But luckily, Battlefront 2 2017 did decide to fix that, which is great news. But the devs did in fact listen to the community after some time, and we did get a ton of content for this game from this era. Now, I still remember EA Play in June, and when Dennis Brandval got up on stage to announce that finally Battlefront 2 would be going deep into the Clone Wars, we eventually got new planets, we got Felucia and Geonosis, new reinforcements, a ton of new skins, mainly for the clones, but we also got some droid skins as well, and of course none other than the 4 amazing new heroes, the ones that we were all asking for so long. But after an entire year of this, I think it is good that we take a break from this era. While it is my favorite, I started to realize that there is a lot more potential for the other two eras that this game really needed. I mainly found myself thinking about this whenever they announced the glorious capital supremacy mode, but then it eventually got announced that it was going to be Clone Wars only for that time. I was really disappointed to hear that, and then the same happened for instant action and co-op. Luckily though, with the announcement of the new Rise of Skywalker content, we know that we are going to be getting these 3 game modes for the sequel era as well, which is amazing news, and I cannot wait to eventually finally be able to play it. And I'm almost certain that we will be getting the same thing for the original trilogy. There's just no way they don't do that. So I think after this happens, it would be a decent time to revisit some Clone Wars content. Now, a lot of people, including myself, have been speculating that the devs will bring Ahsoka Tano and Asajj Ventress to the game in February alongside the release of the new Clone Wars season, and a lot of this is due to the fact that about a year ago or so, some voice lines of General Grievous talking to Ahsoka were actually found in the files, and since then people have been talking non-stop about it. And while it is totally possible that these 2 characters are still in the works, with the state of things right now, I don't really see them being released as early as February, mainly because we are just now getting into sequel content, and I'm sure the original trilogy is going to be up next after that. But who knows, maybe they will surprise us and actually give us this February Clone Wars update, and then after that they'll go back to the original trilogy or to the sequel trilogy. But honestly, being realistic, I think with the Clone Wars, I think a good time to actually bring it back would be sometime around in the summer. I think once DICE adds the sequel and original trilogy to these 3 game modes, and hopefully give us some more skins for the Empire and the Rebels, I think that's highly needed, especially because of how many Empire skins we had with Battlefront 2015. It's a shame we haven't gotten those yet, but sometime in the future, hopefully they do add that. Now, we all know that the Clone Wars basically saved this game. Before this stuff were added, they were losing players like crazy, people were quitting, people just gave up on the game, but after the announcement of Clone Wars and the release of all that, the number of players has never been higher, stated by Dennis Brandval. We don't know the exact number, but we do know that it is actually more than what launch had. But like I said earlier, there's still plenty of content they could add. There's all these heroes, like I said, Ahsoka and Ventress, Captain Rex or even Commander Cody would be great, and even someone like Plo Koon would be an interesting addition as well. And there are a ton of reinforcements that they could choose from if they do want to go that route. Personally, I have always wanted to see a sort of melee class get implemented to this game. These for the Clone Wars could include Magna Guards and the Jedi Temple Guards, and I actually made an entire video about this class concept and how it could work for all 3 eras. So if you guys are interested in watching that, the link will be in the description below. And then there is still something that players have been asking for the infantry class for over 2 years now. That is none other than new weapons. There is a ton of weapons in the Clone Wars era that I think they could add to this game that would be really great to see, so that is also a possibility as well. But we do know that Clone Wars will more than likely make a return at some point in this game. Dennis Branville, I think it was, stated in an interview that this is going to be just a break from the Clone Wars, so I take from that sometime in the future we will be getting some more. Personally, like I said, I think the summer would be a great time to add some more content. But that is just speculation, so go ahead and let me know in the comments down below what you guys think about all this. Do you want Clone Wars to return sooner than later, or would you rather them just completely focus on the other two eras? And as well as what content would you guys like to see? Go ahead and comment it down below. But that is pretty much going to do it for today's video. I hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, be sure and leave a like. It really helps out the channel a lot. And if you're new, subscribe for more Star Wars news, gameplay, and more. And I will hopefully see you in the next one.